Welcome back to another story, dear viewers. Today, we're diving into a tale that might just challenge your perspective on life, death, and financial responsibility. So, buckle up and prepare for a journey that's as thought-provoking as it is unconventional. I was never the reckless type. My life was a carefully orchestrated symphony of responsibility. Color-coded spreadsheets tracked my expenses, and I'd feel a pang of guilt for splurging on extra guacamole at Chipotle. Flossing was a nightly ritual, and my email inbox was a testament to my prompt replies. I was the poster child for adulting done right. Then cancer decided to crash my perfectly planned party. It was like the universe had a twisted sense of humor, serving me a cosmic joke with a side of irony. God seemed to be testing my mettle, asking, "Still feeling responsible now?" The script of my life was suddenly rewritten. One leg amputated, 22 rounds of chemo, and the gut-wrenching realization that I might not make it to my 23rd birthday. But I'm nothing if not stubborn. I kept going, because that's what responsible people do, right? I returned to work, wearing my prosthetic like it was the latest fashion accessory. I laughed at the awkward sympathy that people wrapped around their words. It was like emotional bubble wrap, soft and unnecessary, bound to pop under the weight of reality. Last week, though everything changed, my oncologist looked at me with that expression, you know the one. It's the face people make when they about to drop a bomb, but want to cushion the fall. "I'm sorry," he said, those two words, carrying the weight of 1,000 unspoken ones. The cancer was back, and this time, it brought reinforcements. So, I did what any rational, terminally ill 22-year-old would do. I got myself a credit card, £6,500 limit, 0% APR for 20 months. Not that I'd need that long. Picture this, me, bald as a cue ball, limping slightly, pupils still wide from the MRI contrast dye. Clicking submit on that application like I was launching a rocket to the moon. The approval came through faster than my last lab results to 17 seconds flat. In that moment, I became something I'd never been before. Terminally ill, broke, and gloriously, unapologetically financially irresponsible. And let me tell you, it felt like freedom. My first purchase, noise-canceling headphones. £329 worth of blissful silence. I strutted out of that electronics store, wearing them like a crown, blocking out the sounds of my own coughing, the pitying glances, and the constant hum of existential dread. Next on the agenda, a 6-course meal at a Michelin-starred restaurant. I went solo, told the waiter it was my birthday, it wasn't, and ate every crumb of the surprise cake they brought out. I even pocketed the candle as a souvenir. Then came the impromptu trip to Amsterdam. Did I speak Dutch? Nope. Did I have any particular affinity for cannabis? Not really. But I had a burning desire to see the Van Gogh Museum with my own eyes, not through some filtered Instagram post. I stood in front of the starry night, tears streaming down my face, only to realize later that it's actually housed in New York. But you know what? I cried anyway, the whole room spinning like Van Gogh's swirling sky. I had a fling with a stranger. Twice we didn't exchange names, just body heat and fleeting moments of connection. Back home, I bought my sister a Nintendo Switch. She cried, insisting she couldn't accept it. "You're going to need this money," she pleaded. I just grinned and said, "No, I'm not." People often talk about dying with dignity. They paint this picture of a serene farewell, poignant last words, a heartfelt deathbed confession, the gentle hum of morphine while loved ones gather around. But you know what? Screw that noise. I want to go out with a bang. I want death to find me mid-bite into a perfectly seared Wagyu steak. My heart racing because I dared to laugh too hard at a joke I won't remember. I want some poor debt collector to send a letter to my empty apartment, only to realize they've been ghosted by an actual ghost. I want my final Google search to be something ridiculous like, "Can you get high on truffle oil?" There's a certain power in giving up. Not the sad, movie montage kind of surrender, but the fierce kind. The type where you stand on the edge of a cliff and scream, "Tint." Not because you're afraid to fall, but because you suddenly realize there's no one left to impress. No credit score to maintain, no 5-year plan to chase, no diet to stick to. Just a handful of days, maybe weeks if I am lucky, and the beautiful freedom to make every second a little less tragic and a lot more memorable. Now, I'm not saying this is a path everyone should take. Don't call me a hero or try to emulate this. I'm just a guy who realized that when death is a certainty, debt becomes a punchline to the cosmic joke we call life. And right now, I'm laughing all the way to the grave, with a 6,500-pound smile plastered across my face. This debt, it dies with me. And I'm going to make sure it has one hell of a send-off. As I navigate this final chapter, maxing out my credit card and my experiences, I can't help but reflect on the absurdity of it all. The system that once held me in its responsible grip now seems like a distant memory, a set of rules that no longer apply to someone with an expiration date. I've become a financial rebel, a terminal Robin Hood, robbing from my future self to give to my present moments. Every swipe of that credit card is a middle finger to fate, a way of saying, "You may take my life, but you'll never take my ability to live it on my own terms." Is it selfish? Maybe. Irresponsible? Definitely. But when you're staring down the barrel of mortality, conventional wisdom tends to lose its shine. So here I am, a walking, talking, and occasionally limping reminder that life is short. Credit limits are just numbers. And sometimes the most responsible thing you can do is to be utterly, gloriously irresponsible. As I wrap up this tale of financial defiance in the face of death, I can't help but wonder, what would you do if you knew your days were numbered? Would you stick to your budget, or would you throw caution to the wind and live like there's no tomorrow? Because, well, there might not be. It's a question I never thought I'd have to answer, but here I am, credit card in hand, ready to make my last days count in ways that no spreadsheet could ever capture. So, dear viewers, as you ponder this unconventional approach to terminal illness and fiscal responsibility, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts. Would you do the same in my shoes, or do you think I've lost my mind along with my life savings? Let's get a conversation going in the comments below. Cool. And remember, while my story might be unique, the lesson is universal. Life is precious, unpredictable, and far too short to always play by the rules. Sometimes, you've got to break the bank to make the memories. Until next time, this is your financially irresponsible, terminally ill narrator, signing off with a maxed out credit card and a heart full of experiences that no debt collector can ever repossess.